Now at 9, life or death. The jury's decision for the Parkland shooter's penalty now being read.
Plus, a shooting near campus and an officer's life is claimed. We'll bring you the latest details.
And campus safety. We sit down with Assistant Director Arnold Vasquez for safety tips and much more.
Now, news that matters to you on campus and beyond. Live. You're watching Studio G.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on Studio G. My name is Dominic Lavoie.
And I'm Hector Solomon. Let's get right into it. Breaking news this morning, a Metro officer is dead following a shooting near UNLV. The officer was identified as 49-year-old Trung Tai. Police have arrested Tyson Hampton as a suspect in the shooting. Hampton allegedly was armed with a handgun and fired at officers. Both responding officers fired back. A bystander was also injured in the shooting, and there are no updates following their conditions. The intersection of Flamingo Road and University Center Drive is now closed.
And this just in, the jury has reached a decision in the trial for Parkland massacre gunman Nicholas Cruz. Cruz recommends a life in prison on the first counts against the gunman. They're still considering for the 17 counts for the victims of which Cruz killed in the shooting, and those counts can land Cruz either life in prison or the death penalty. Jurors must be unanimous in their decision for a death sentence according to Florida law. Cruz pleaded guilty to 17 counts of attempted murder last year in the 2018 shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida. And now let's take a live look out at the Washington Monument, where the House Selected Committee will be holding their last hearing for the January 6th incident. The case has since progressed following the raiding of former President Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. There are no new witnesses but new evidence. The committee will return at 10 a.m.
And 911 calls from the Las Vegas stabbing have now been released. First caller Anna Westby dialed after she and Marie DiGiovanni had been stabbed while working as showgirl impersonators on the Strip. The attack left 6 people injured and 2 dead. Several GoFundMes have been created for the victims if you'd like to donate.
And the Animal Foundation now has 77 dogs showing signs of the canine new MO virus. Affected dogs are currently being quarantined for the highly contagious illness. However, the foundation plans to reopen its doors for adoptions this Friday, allowing only healthy dogs to be examined by their veterinarian team to be up for adoption.
With recent crime here in the Valley and now an officer involved in the shooting near campus, safety has become more of a pressing concern. Barry Sabine has more.
Las Vegas had to deal with an unforeseen tragedy on the Strip involving a stabbing. Fortunately for us here on campus, we have the protection of University Police. I sat down with Assistant Director Arnold Vasquez. Here's what he had to say.
Impacts of acts of violence such as that. And our campuses, we're proud to say, are islands of safety, if you will. And it doesn't just include the University of Las Vegas, Nevada. It does include all of our campuses, which include CSN, College of Southern Nevada, as well as Nevada State College.
Being an island of safety does not come overnight. It was built through innovation and needs to help the student population.
What we do have, which is a very valuable tool, is our Rebel Safe app. It's an application in which you can actually pull up your phone. There's a number of things that provide a level of safety.
Being vigilant and being educated and aware of your surroundings and relying on people you can trust is one of the best ways to create a sense of safety. Assistant Director Vasquez points to
Friend Walk, which is a GPS type of a pin that you can drop, if you will, that will allow one of your friends to track you if you were to be walking across campus at an odd time, evening hours or whatnot, so they can ensure that you reach your destination safely. And if there's some sort of issue, they can assist in making that emergency phone call.
To follow up, I wanted to know if students were to attend this active assailant training, what could they gain as a person?
At the end of the day, what it really does is it is a part of our way to combat some of these potential issues in crime, and be preventative in that fact to help make people feel vigilant or be vigilant and feel a little bit more confident with their ability to react to that type of a situation.
If you are looking for any more tips on how to stay safe, please look towards University Police Department website, as it'll be your best guide to stay safe during the semester. Reporting for Studio G, I am Barry Sabine.
Thank you, Barry. And again, for more information, that website was unlv.edu/police. And now let's hear from Jade, for her famous weather report.
Thank you, Hector. And today we have another hot one with today's high of 93 and a low wind speed, so light breezes, nothing too crazy. And temperatures right now, they're going to rise as we get into the mid-afternoon, about 3 to 4, but not too high. And then NASCAR is here this weekend. What is the weather going to be like? Hector, Dom, what do you have for us?
Thank you for that, Jade. And as Breast Cancer Awareness Month continues, Nevada Healthcare Centers joins forces to provide free mammograms to those underserved in the areas of Nevada. Known as the Mammovan, it began operating in 2000 and helps uninsured women who may not seek mammogram services to get those services. For more on how to make an appointment with the Mammovan or just more information on the Mammovan itself, visit nevadahealthcenter.org/mammography.
And the Speedway goes pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Las Vegas Motor Speedway shows its support by repainting the start and finish line pink. Affected breast cancer NASCAR fans were given the repainting honor yesterday morning, and the change can be seen this weekend at the racing event.
And it's homecoming week and the festivities are not over yet. We'll tell you more right after a short break.
All this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. Visit boystown.org/stressedout for great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. UNLV Homecoming is in full effect. Many students, faculty, and alumni gathered on campus yesterday for the Rebel Homecoming Festival and Parade. Those in attendance enjoyed activities ranging from carnival rides, games, and free food. And want to know how to join in on the fun? Register for the tailgate party before attending the UNLV versus Air Force football game on Saturday.
And UNLV Hospitality is reopening Bistro 410 on October 18th. The Bistro is a student-run restaurant that serves meals on select dates from 5 to 6:30 p.m. in the Stan Fulton building. For select dates, menus, and reservations, visit the William F. Harrah School of Hospitality website.
Also, the Rebel HD2 is giving out tickets for Role Model. Role Model takes a stop at the House of Blues at the Mandalay Bay for the last leg of his tour, X. The show will take place next Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can win tickets through the Rebel HD2 Instagram at the Rebel HD2.
And as the weekend winds down, here at Studio G, it's time for Posts of the Week. We'll scour the pages of social media and bring you the most relevant and interesting things people are talking about here in the Valley and everywhere else in the country. First up, Devontae Adams in this Fox 5 update. He has been since cited for a citation in Kansas City following his incident on Monday Night Football. Next up, we have our very own Rebel Alex Wright posting up the Mountain West preseason poll. The Lady Rebels atop the poll, receiving 26 out of 28 votes. No surprise there. Lindy LaRocque, will have her team ready to go come season for sure. Next up, we have Clark County. They are adding social services outreach to the Las Vegas Strip to help foster a safer environment and respond to the increased homelessness. A care team will work with Las Vegas Metro Police on getting services to the homeless and those with mental health and illnesses. Next up, from the Reddit thread of Vegas locals, Adam Laxalt's relatives endorsed Cortez Masto in Nevada Senate race. Boy, Laxalt's losing a lot of support lately, and seems like his own family is going ahead and turning off on him, but it's a shame there. Next up, we have the Rebel 2023-2024 FAFSA is now open, Don't wait till the last minute. this post from the Academic Success Center. Be sure to get your FAFSAs in on time to make sure that your school is paid for next year. Excuse me. Next up, we have Alex Jones. As the damages number climbed, Alex Jones beamed with pride that it was approaching the 10-figure range. A man taking pride in his verdict from the lawsuit following the Next up, we have from the Vegas Locals thread a picture, this local tow truck seen on the roads. Now, what is surprising about this will be the vanity plate that will be revealed in a moment. A vanity plate that reads, "No car for you." Unfortunately for many people in the valley, that will be the reality when this tow truck approaches them. But if you see them on the streets, be sure to let them know that you saw them here on Studio G. And that's all we have for you this week, but we want to know your thoughts. What posts would you like to see us shed more light on this segment? Tell us on Twitter at StudioG_UNLV. And now here's everyone's favorite segment, our own Jay Thomas with the weather report.
Well, Hector, those were some interesting tweets, but now for the weather. Today we have another dry heat day with cool mornings and cool evenings, but as we hit the mid-afternoon, those are going to rise. And for our evening planner, once again, we go from 90 to 72, which is a significant drop. Hopefully we can stay in the 70s. And NASCAR starts tomorrow all weekend, and the sunrise temp is 63 degrees, and it'll be at 6:45. Perfect weather. And for your 7-day, we are having a hot week until we head into the weekend with possible chances of rain and heading into the mid-80s following that. And as we head more into the weekend, we're hoping that these low pressures where the southern states are getting rain, we hope that we can get a little bit of it, and we do have a small chance of showers. For your UNLV itinerary, today we have women's tennis for the regionals here in Vegas tomorrow and Saturday. And for women's volleyball, they play tonight at 6:30. And men's soccer is tomorrow at 7. And we also have another game, women's volleyball at 1 p.m. And football, your HOCO game at 7:30. And now we have a view of the Strip. Did you know that tonight is the Golden Knights' first game of the season, and they're doing a big grand opening, the first big grand opening since COVID. The events start at 3 p.m. There's going to be so much games, food, all of that. So go down to the Strip and have some fun. Dom, Hector, are you guys gonna participate in the fun this weekend?
Thank you, Jade. We might, but before we get to that, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals decided the original Texas verdict of Texas versus United States DACA case was unlawful. Our reporter Lena Atut spoke with Nayeli Rico Lopez, the coordinator for the Undocumented Student Program at UNLV, about what this means for our campus.
UNLV is the second most diverse university in the nation, and it's important to know the resources that are available for all university students, regardless of status.
So here within UNLV, we do not require a social security number for admission, so that leaves admissions open up to anyone regardless of status. And then in terms of financial aid, we do have the alternate need form, which is currently open and closes November 15th. And so we definitely encourage current students and incoming students as well to fill out this form as soon as possible, since we do know that the need is very high and there is limited funding within this form.
Through advocacy for educational equality and by fostering an inclusive and welcoming campus environment, the Undocumented Student Program is committed to empowering and celebrating undocumented student resilience.
And then we also have on campus the Dream.US scholarship, which we recently partnered with, and they basically provide a full ride scholarship to eligible DACA and undocumented individuals. You can learn more about their eligibility criteria on their website, which is the Dream.US, and their application opens up this upcoming November 1st.
For more information, visit unlv.edu/diversity/undocumented.
Overall, we just want to make sure that students know that we are here for them. Regardless of what's happening in the courts, our support will continue. We see you, we hear you, and we're here to help you and support you throughout anything and everything. So definitely reach out if you need support. We are here for you.
Thank you for that report, Lena. And for more information on DACA and financial aid, visit unlv.edu/finaid/DACA. And there's plenty of goings on this weekend before we let you guys go, especially in the sports world. Our very own Chris Clark has more. Chris?
Thank you, Dom. We'll begin with the Golden Knights. So the Knights are preparing for their season home opener against the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. The Knights got off to a perfect start this season as they had 4 different players score in their win against the LA Kings on Tuesday. The Blackhawks lost 5-2 against the reigning champion Colorado Avalanche last night. UNLV football, they're also preparing for a huge game this weekend. They take on the Air Force on homecoming night. That's going to be at Allegiant Stadium on Saturday. Quarterback Doug Brumfield, he's still listed as day-to-day with head and ankle injuries. And the Rebels go into this as a 10-point underdog. That's according to BetMGM.
Denny Hamlin, in round 1, was able to win the first race and guarantee him a spot in the next round. He's going to do it in round 2. Hamlin's going to win at Vegas.
And the NASCAR South Point 400 returns to Las Vegas this weekend. Chase Elliott from the Chevrolet team has 4,046 points, and he currently sits top of the playoff standings. Tickets for the South Point 400, they're still available and are $80 and up for adults and just $10 for children 12 and under.
That's no chin. Under the chin. He needs to pull the hand down. Oh my goodness.
There it is. Alexa Grasso by submission in round 1. First submission win of her career.
And the UFC returns to the UFC Apex in Las Vegas for UFC Fight Night, Grasso versus Araujo. Both women go into the fight in great form. Grasso has won her last 3, and Araujo has won 3 of her last 4 fights. The fight card also features fan favorite and Hall of Famer Cub Swanson in the co-main event. In other headlines, UNLV alum Donovan Williams, he signed with the Brooklyn Nets after previously playing with them in Summer League. Draymond Green, he's going to return to practice for the Golden State Warriors after being away from the team for punching teammate Jordan Poole in practice last Wednesday. The UNLV men's tennis team, they're traveling to Albuquerque, New Mexico today for the ITA Mountain Region Men's Championships. And then finally, a reminder that the Raiders have a bye week. Their next home game is going to be against the Houston Texans. That's on October 23rd at Allegiant. That's all I got for sports today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Chris. The president recently announced a countrywide pardoning for simple marijuana offenses. But how is this going to affect Nevada? We have the retail manager of Hardin here to tell us more.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
Third line, please.
DEPRESSION.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own.
Anxiety. I thought so.
Like many health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. And the sooner you seek treatment, the better.
Look at that. 6,000 steps and PTSD.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes, you know, from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you could make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Thank you. Welcome back. And just last week, President Biden announced that he is issuing pardons for individuals charged with simple marijuana offenses. Joining us this morning is Brittany Algoncillo, the retail manager of Jardín Premium Cannabis Dispensary. Brittany, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for the introduction, Hector, and hello to all the viewers out there.
Thank you. And now let's get right into it. So, Brittany, what was your reaction to President Biden's pardon?
My first reaction to Joe Biden pardoning simple cannabis offenses was thinking this is the smallest step to correcting an injustice that costs the American people more than they can ever know. Yeah. As much as I appreciate this step in the right direction, it is, in the grand scheme of things, a step, and we still have a very long way to go.
And something that has always been troubling, especially for the marijuana consumers around the country, is that the difference between state and federal laws. Now, how do you think that this pardon from President Biden is going to affect the stigma? Because there's a lot of confusion between what's legal, what's not, state, federal. What do you think the reaction or the effect is going to be from the pardon as far as the stigma against the cannabis industry goes?
Well, to answer the first part of your question, no one should be in prison for simple cannabis offenses. It's not only unfair, but it's about time we do the right thing. And to answer the second part of your question, simply put, we have the support of the President of the United States.
Right, of course.
But what I believe is that when it comes to the stigma of cannabis, it's really up to us now to destigmatize this plant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a culture, the way that we look at it. And being that you work with Jardín, the most award-winning cannabis dispensary here in Nevada, how do you think this policy is going to affect cannabis industry and the growth here in the state?
Well, here's the thing. Cannabis is going to continue to flourish no matter what, because people are going to continue to do what they want to do, and that's why this plant has been able to survive for over 2,000 years.
Right.
But what this actually does for people is it not only helps our community, but it also helps people that have gone to prison for this plant to have opportunities when it comes to employment and housing and also education. This is very important because these things are what make up the American dream.
Yep.
Having a education and a career and also a home.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Algoncillo. And looking to use student discounts for something sweet and nice, we'll let you know where after the break.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
UMergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. UMergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. UMergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your UMergency app now.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Waffles and ice cream sounds like a spiritual experience.
Yes, it does.
And the Dalai Lama, they're celebrating its first opening in Sin City, located right across campus. You can taste Belgian and Hong Kong inspired waffles. UNLV students, we can also get a 20% off of their orders.
Wow.
It will be open from noon to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursdays and noon to 11 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays.
That sounds amazing.
It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going.
Yeah, I'll be there with you.
Love to hear it. That's all we got for you guys today. Be sure to tune in to next week for more news.
And thank you for joining us on Studio G. We'll be back with you on Tuesday.